Hi everyone, welcome to the first ever STEAM Plus Stories, where we're going to be reading a bunch of really awesome nonfiction. Nonfiction, is that one the facts or the stories? It's usually the facts. In fact, it's always the facts. But just because it's facts doesn't mean it has to be dry and boring. And the two we have today are excellent representations of that. They're both very different, but they're both about flowers, since it is springtime and we need something to cheer us up from all the rain we've been having. First one is more poetry. It reads like poetry, but then you get to the back couple pages, and boy, is there a ton of information there. Second one, more story-ish while relating the facts. But both are very interesting and awesome. So we're going to be reading this one, Bloom Boom by April Pollinators. And this one called Flower Talk by Sarah Levine. First one that we're going to be reading is Bloom Boom, and let's get started.
Every spring, across the land, seeds sprout, stems pop out. Bloom, boom. Leaves emerge, stalks surge. Bloom, boom. Plants rise, shapes surprise. Bloom, boom. Bulbs send, tips extend. Bloom, boom. Buds grow, blossoms show. Bloom, boom. Petals curve, insects swerve. Bloom, boom. Colors call, fragrance flies. Welcome, birds and butterflies. Sun rays warm, flowers form. Bloom, boom.
So what'd you think of it? I always love the way that she writes the different pictures and that they fit perfectly with the text. Or she takes the photographs and they match perfectly with the words. And they're really amazing photographs. Were you guys able to spot the cottontail bunny on this page? Hopefully you did. Anyway, done with that one. On to the next. And that's going to be Flower Talk. How Plants Use Color to Communicate by Sarah Levine and illustrated by Masha Dyens. You might notice, as opposed to the photographs, this one has a lot of really cool illustrations, but it still gives a lot of detail and it's a really fun read. You ready? Here we go.
Hey you, psst, down here. That's right, I'm a plant and I'm talking to you. But don't get too used to it. We don't make a habit of talking to humans. I want to clear up some of your crazy ideas about what the colors of our flowers mean. We sit here growing, minding our own business, While you guys go on about how red roses stand for love and white ones are good for weddings and all kind of mushy, ridiculous stuff. What a load of fertilizer. We're not using flowers to send information to you, so bud out, okay? We use our flowers to talk to the animals. Why? We need some help down here. What would you do if your legs were stuck in the ground for your entire life? How would you eat? How would you drink? How would you get your pajamas on? We can take care of some things ourselves. We get our food with help from the sun, and when it rains, our roots slurp up water. But we need help making our seeds, our babies. What's more important than that? Without seeds, there'd be no more plants. We'd be finished, kaput. To make a seed, we need pollen from a different plant of our same type. How do we get that? We can't just waltz over and take some. That's why we need animals. Here's what we do. We trick them into carrying it for us. We're nice about it though. We pay them a little something for their efforts. Well, usually. How do we get them to help? We advertise. We hold up big signs. Our flowers are the signs. They say, come on over. Great for you. We have a special. And believe me, they come. Who wouldn't? Especially if they're hungry. If we're in luck, they bring along some pollen from a flower they visited earlier. Do they know they're doing this? Who knows? And who cares? It works and everyone's happy. So what's the deal with all the colors? A flower's colors invite specific animals to visit. You seem like a bright kid, so I'm going to let you in on the conversation. And then maybe you could do me a favor and tell the other humans about it, okay? Red flowers are usually talking to birds. The red flower's message is a top secret one, for birds only. Most other pollinators are insects, and they can't see the color red. A red flower says, hey hummingbird, over here. Carry my pollen and I'll give you a sip of nectar. By the way, red flowers don't have much of an odor. Birds have a horrible sense of smell, so why bother making perfume for them? Blue and purple flowers talk to bees. Bees need flower pollen to feed their babies. They have special pockets on their legs to carry it home to their young. But some pollen always gets stuck on their bodies and passed to the next flower they visit. Blue and purple flowers are saying, yo bee, could you help me move some pollen and take some home for the kids? See, we can be thoughtful too. Yellow flowers are also talking to bees. Bees are our top helpers. I heard that scientists just figured out that the bees have 3 favorite colors: blue, purple, and yellow. Took you guys long enough. We've known this for ages. That's why so many of us make flowers in these colors. We like the reliable help. Here's what a yellow flower says. Bees, bargain basement this way. Free food. Some white flowers talk to moths and bats. Moths and bats fly mostly at night. And when it's dark outside, what color shows up best? White, of course. White flowers are like giant signs that say, hey, come get your free nectar here. White flowers also put out perfume as an extra guide to help these animals find them. Frankly, I don't care for it myself, but I guess to a moth or a bat, it smells pretty good. Brown flowers often talk to flies. Here's what they're saying. Get a whiff of our perfume. It's stinky, just the way you like it. This is true. Brown flowers reek like something dead and rotten. And flies need to lay their eggs on dead things so their maggot babies will have something to eat when they hatch. I know, so gross. But a brown flower doesn't help a mama fly at all. She gets drawn in by the stench, but there's no meat there. just a flower tricking a bug into doing work for free. The flower gets pollen, but the fly gets nothing. The only rotten thing around here is the deal. Green flowers aren't talking to anyone. Are they just shy? No. They don't talk to animals because they don't need help. Their pollen is carried by the wind. Plants with green flowers are just green all over because they don't need animals to notice them. Would you bother getting dressed up if you didn't need to? I know I wouldn't. Do animals only go to flowers that are their favorite colors? No, but they usually do. For example, butterflies are drawn more to a flower's shape than its color. Butterflies like a steady platform to land on and tubes filled with nectar to sip their long, curly tongues. They visit flowers of many colors. But even butterflies have favorites: white, purple, yellow, pink, red, and orange. That's a lot of favorites, don't you think? It's been good chatting, but it's time for you to leave now. Go take a hike. I'm pretty busy in case you haven't noticed. I'm making a new flower. It's going to be yellow with a nice, roomy platform. I'm just about done with it. But before you leave, do you want to guess who I'm getting ready to talk to next?
All right, well, thanks for joining us at our first ever STEAM plus Stories story time. Obviously today we did more of a science. STEAM usually stands for science, technology, engineering, art, math. The plus is for when we get into stuff like the history. Today obviously was more science with botany, but maybe next week it'll be something else. Anyway, don't forget to check out this week's Instagram Science Challenge on Friday. It's also about flowers, and maybe you might find it interesting. Thanks, and have a great day.